there are a couple of other concepts that are important, and we're going to just discuss them. We're not going to work out any problems. Those are outliers and leverage. Outliers are values that fall outside the normal range. Okay, so you'll usually find y values, okay, within plus or minus 3 standard deviations of the mean. So if you look at the residuals, standardized residuals also, again, you expect it to fall within plus or minus 3 standard deviations. When it falls outside, then that's cause for concern. Then what is the problem? We have to investigate and make sure that they are legitimate, or if there are any mistakes, then we have to correct the mistakes. So outliers are about the value of y. If y value falls outside a normal range, then that would be an outlier point. Okay, for example, here you have the y values are all about here in this range, and suddenly there is one point that is way out here, the actual value of y. Okay. Now, if the same thing happens on the x-axis side, okay, so here is the normal range of x values, okay, and then there is one value which is way out here. Okay. Now, depending upon where this way out there x value falls, it could significantly change the slopes. So, for example, if the leverage point, if the x value is equal to 30 falls around here, it's still within the y value is within the existing range. Most of the y's are falling in this range, and this x value also falls, the y value corresponding to this x value also falls in the same range. Okay, and that would have your regression line, the fitted regression line, this way. But suppose if this x value is corresponding y is over there, then that one single value is going to shift the regression line significantly upward. So even though there are so many points here, that one single point has an effect of changing the regression line itself, and that's called a leverage point. This one single point has a lot more leverage on the regression line than all the other points. So there are statistics that we can compute to see which of the observations are leverage observations, and if there are any leverage observations, we have to examine, we have to investigate and see whether they are legitimate values. If they are legitimate values, then we have to keep them. One way of mitigating that is to make sure that you collect more sample observations that fills out the gap in the x value, and that would minimize the undue influence that these extreme values have. So fill out the sample so that no one single x value stands out. Okay? So here are some computations that we can perform. That is what is called Cook's distance, and there are some leverage cutoff points. We won't get into those details, but there are analyses that we can perform in Excel. Doing those analysis is kind of cumbersome. If you have SAS or SPSS, it's a lot easier to do. So, but concept-wise, what is outlier? Outlier is the value of y that falls outside the normal range of plus or minus 3 standard deviations. Okay, that's outlier. Okay, when the same outlier happens on the x-axis side, okay, that is x value that's way out there, outside the normal range of x values, then that poses a different kind of problem. And to mitigate that, you have to make sure that the samples are the empty space of the sample, okay, where the one x stands out, is filled out, so that no one single x value will be standing out and having undue influence.